Warning. This video is not suitable for audiences under the age of 15, which contains strong language, dark topics that are unsettling, and several testimonies from creators who've encountered this user's inappropriate behavior. Also want to clarify that my content and channel is not intended for kids. My content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I only provide the context to deliver authenticity and understanding to help audiences know how to act and to improve based on constructive criticism. I do not condone anyone to spread negativity, hate, harassment, or any harmful actions toward the group or person involved in the making of this documentary. If you do not wish to watch or read this documentary that makes you uncomfortable, then please click away from the video now. Viewer discretion is advised. Good afternoon, I am Ricardo Ricochet and you are watching the Ush News Live. Which Ricardo's not my real name, by the way. I just made it up inside my head, you know, just for laughs. And in today's article, we're going to be providing and showcasing a final update on the most disliked creator on social media, which goes by the name of External VR, or originally known as Xeno the Hedgehog, who has not only been harassing, bullying and provoking creators, but also impersonating one of the most well-known Sonic tubers on the platform today, UltraSonicHero. And today he will be showcasing some new evidence and a new documentary to provide more evidence and testimonies from other creators who have encountered this user. The big question is, has Xeno reverted back to his old ways, or has he turned himself into a new leaf? Find out what happens after these messages. Stay tuned! Alright, it's time. Transition! Howdy. Okay. That was quite the landing. Anyway, all kidding aside, I am UltraSonicHero, and I'm here to give out a final update on the most disliked user, or should I say creator, on social media, known as Xeno the Hedgehog. Now, those of you who do know Xeno the Hedgehog has been impersonating, provoking, and slandering my name on this entire Sonic community. Now, there's a few things that I'm going to be clearing up as much as possible. So, how this is going to work is I'm going to be separating into different segments on the allegations, the testimonies, and this person who I previously encountered that I regretted siding with earlier, so I'll get to that in just a moment. Also, I just want to give a big humongous thank you for watching the documentary video and for spreading awareness. With your support, it's been meaning a lot. And because of your feedback, it helps me to motivate myself to be, you know, a better person and just, you know, provide some clarification in terms of communication and interaction with an audience. So, I am going to be reading your comments in my own time as much as possible, just to provide some more information, as some of the people who have previously encountered Xeno the Hedgehog, not just on YouTube but also on Discord. With this in mind, I want to point out that this documentary that you're about to read may contain some disturbing context or images that may be uncomfortable for some of the viewers. So remember, if you are not comfortable watching this documentary, then please click away from this video right now for your own safety. A quick reminder that this Google document has already been updated a few times because I wanted to make sure that everything made proper sense in form of accuracy and clarification. I am going to be placing some timestamps on this side of the screen, so if you want to check out at the segments I'm going to be talking about in different topics in different times, then go ahead and click the timestamps right here. There'll be some new pages into this document and I'll be reading them out in my own time, as well as reading out your comments on the documentary video that I uploaded on the 20th of September 2024. So, without further ado, let's do this. After that I had uploaded the 2.5 long documentary video of Xeno the Hedgehog on the 20th of September, he then posted a long message on both Discord and YouTube, which I will read right now. Here's what he had to say. I want to clear things up. I should start off on why I've been acting this way. Before I came to the internet, I was just left alone a Minecraft nerd, and left alone was a Sonic fan personally. I would make creations never seen before when I was just a little kid, but that day had passed. People sought attention to steal all of my works, including real-life works. All of my efforts and accomplishments stolen, and people takes all the credit for it. My parents would do nothing about it, so I left all my dreams and hard efforts all to ruins. As time went by, people kept doing so. I was a coward for not standing up for myself and my own personal friends. I was scared I would get hurt not just mentally but physically as well. I never wanted to go to the public or tell anyone because I wanted people to find out on their own. As soon as I knew what you mean, I became too jealous because I had abandoned my own ability to create whatever I wanted because people stole from me back then. Later on throughout life, I was homeschooled. I pushed people away from me because I didn't want the same fate to happen over and over again. And when I came to the internet and decided to create something, I have that stolen and lied about. Only projects I created from the ground up and are all legitimately are my game development projects. So I started my works on the Sector project, a project that was successful, something that can stand out, only to have people copy my ideas I came up with, so I wanted to teach the whole world a lesson on what they truly are. Teach the world how I felt. As sooner I said it, that became my greatest mistake. People accused me of doxing them when I didn't. You did dox them, Xeno. I know this for a fact, because people have explained to me that you have leaked people's IP addresses and their names. You never take accountability for that. And that is your biggest mistake. You should be ashamed the way that you've been interacting and how you engaged with people in that disrespectful manner. And the big chip on your shoulder, I'm disgusted. Off the chart, you're too easy. You make it extremely easy for me to put you in your place, because not only that, you have lost your time and your chance to talk to me on Discord like a grown-up, and you failed miserably. Continuing. People falsely accusing me of stealing open-sourced assets. Look at me now, I am practically nothing without creating games that I wanted to make that's made all by myself. Use any open-sourced assets I can find. If it risks people lying about me about it, then so be it. I don't want to be a fake because of what the people did to me back those years. And I don't need anyone's pity. Everything related to me and my game development projects are all a flat-out lie. I just wanted to be someone normal and just fit in. But knowing what I saw, it's not what it seemed. I don't know how many people I offended or pissed off, but I'm sorry for everything. My actions, my behavior, all of it. I'm ashamed of what I did. All along, I let down everyone, and I'm doing something right now as we speak that I should have done from the very start. No one's going to stop me from fixing everything and setting things right. There's some parts that he made mistakes on, especially, harassing people, which I understand, but based on everything he's done and the communication that he wrote himself, especially the phrases that he copied from me, especially from my content and the documentary video that I already posted, well, that's a different story, now is it? That explains that he does not take accountability. He never does. And by the time he's gonna turn 18, and if he continues to do so, then I can't help him. No one's gonna help him, so don't come crying to me when something bad happens on your end. You're on your own. And then this is what he wrote on Discord, which I'll read right now. Whatever happened, I apologize sincerely, but it's seriously important for myself and my future and my community. There are serious allegations put on me, and it's something I don't want to alarm others about, but if people give me a chance, I will explain. Back before all of this drama on me had ever started, I was basically a nerd. Only thing I liked and wanted to do the most is game development. However, my life story and how we got to now is all not about sunshine. You copied that from my message on my documentary. It's something to give people a bigger picture of what was really going on. Of course, there will be a video talking about who I was back then, and why I was acting like this now, and how much I do want to change. Now's the time for me to make things right. Before I came to the internet, I was a huge Minecraft nerd, and I like making stuff. Anything new, but then later in public school, I noticed people beginning to take all of my efforts and works for their own, stealing it all from me. I got angry and jealous, and I later had a mental health disorder making me do crap I don't want to do on repeat. As soon as I was 14, I came to the internet in hoping the same fate wouldn't happen again, but that thought had soon came to pass, noticing the same problem happening over and over again. As I grew older, I couldn't tolerate people stealing my content, and eventually, it had led to me being blackmailed into stealing art from a well-known artist. I wasn't proud of it. Yeah, you admitted it. You admitted the fact that you stole art from Hikaru. That was the first thing that you admitted. So I'll give you that. I felt ashamed. I felt like I should have told someone, but the blackmailer knew where I lived, and if I told anyone anything, me or my family would get hurt. What the hell are you talking about? The blackmailer? Are you assuming that I'm a blackmailer because I'm not a blackmailer? Because listen to yourself, you keep saying that people blackmailed you. For everything you did, they never blackmailed you. You dropped the ball, you let everyone down, and these people had to put you in your place. And even a few friends of mine who addressed to me everything that you did behind their backs. They did that to... Actually, they put you in your place because you were not accountable for everything you did. Because you still repeat the same mistakes like you did before. They did that to put you in your place because you couldn't take the criticism like a man. Next, I let his be bygone and tried to hang out in places I hoped to fit in well with. But as time grew past, I kept getting harassed and I grew tired of it. I grew tired of it all, so I became more arrogant and disrespectful. I tried to hide it, and then I found the Neon Crew, somewhere I can find peace in, somewhere creations can come to life. However, I learned people would soon find out sooner or later that I was hiding something, and you did. You hide the fact that you stole art from Hikaru and that you were slandering other people on Discord, as well as my friends that I know who are moderators that you harassed. And guess what? Your attitude stinks, and it's worse than manure. I was later exposed from the real truth, and I knew my fears became real. I didn't want to explain that I was blackmailed because I was too much of a coward, and I am a pathetic kid who can't defend for himself. I left the Neon Crew in hopes I don't cause any more harm or damage. I tried to be peaceful, and I had enough courage to stand up for myself against my blackmail, but at what cost? At what cost? At what cost? It didn't fix all the damage done. As soon as time went by, I tried to make game projects I made on my own, projects made from the ground up, but were stolen, but I felt horrible and knew it wasn't me. So I gave up on that, knowing it became my greatest mistake. So I left that path in ruin. Later in time, I met two individuals harassing me and trying to criticize my creations. I tried to defend my creations, but it has gotten more worse. Not things worse, by the way. More worse. Fix your grammar. No matter what I do, I felt uncomfortable and left that group and never came back. But later I saw that they tried to impersonate as me. Not impersonated, impersonate. And now I never have the issue with my name external. I don't care if people use the name because it's not unique. But I had a problem with these people because they took both the name and profile and tried to be more a brain-rotted version of me. As soon as it has let down, created a group chat and tried to stand up for myself, but failed and gotten others involved because I've been called the M-word, R-word, F-slur. I'm gonna make something quite clear to you. These people, whether they called you those slurs or not, I don't know if they did, but listen. They got tired of you slandering them because you never took responsibility for what you did. You kept doing the same thing over and over again like a broken record. You tried to amend the mistakes you made, yet you failed to do so. Let's get one thing straight. let me get one thing officially straight. You are not a certified Sonic fan. Damn! And been told sexist and racist slurs. After the group chat incident, called me a groomer, a P-word, and I was manipulated into making 4 videos on for the same reason and expose him faking his apology. Days went by and lol dude decided to make more drama on me, and his mask as anonymous didn't last for long, creating an endless nightmare I can't seem to escape. In the time I've been lied about, almost got blackmailed 2 more times. Again, you keep saying that you were blackmailed, but you still twist the narrative, manipulating every single thing that you can find out from the sky and expect miracles to happen in your own little brain. You're not in a fantasy land, Xeno. This is reality. This is real life. This is why that no one relies on you because of everything you do. That's why you're proving to be inconsistent with your work. That's why you're proving to be a failure. Donkey! Only projects I created are my game development projects. They're only created from the ground up. Used any open source assets I find use for. If people has a problem with me using open source assets, then get out to the internet. Anyways, then I met a new friend who understood, you mean understood, not understanded. Get a life, will you? Expiration, he created a document trying to clear my name and defended me. But however, I do not know it's still up to date or not. People lied about him and I couldn't let that by. So I tried to back Expiration up. As time went by, I kept trying to battle the harassment and lies. Didn't let it drag my insanity down. Then he came into it and decided to make things worse. When I encountered the starfish in the Neon crew, I never knew who he was until I noticed he had something to do with the cussing out children. I didn't pay close attention to him and tried to move on. He came to make things worse and made all of my other friends I was close to betray me. When I asked many questions on whatever is going on, I felt betrayed and alone. They never betrayed you, you betrayed them. You alone. The reason why they dislike you, Xeno, is because they can see through you. You're a big phony. You're a pretender. An UltraSonicHero wannabe who thinks he can do anything and everything because you can't. Because first of all, your grammar sucks. Second, you don't care of any criticism given by the majority of people. Third, you don't show any respect. Fourth, when you put all that together, you're just an incapable fake little bitch. All you do is come up with a way to twist your own narrative and make excuse after excuse after excuse. And you only care about yourself and not for the others that you dissed on. I never forgave myself ever again. I didn't know who to trust since everyone backstabbed me. They never backstabbed you, Xeno. You backstabbed them. I know a few people that you backstabbed. For example, Vampiric Ruins, Havoc Network, my good pal Red. The list goes on, Xeno. A lot of people do not approve on your behavior. You're a selfish little coward who can't handle the truth.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
I didn't know who to trust, but whoever stayed with me and knowing I can change in a matter of time, I appreciate their support from them so much. There are people I could call my real friends. Before I end this off, I want to make this known. Do not try to teach someone how to feel. Just tell them. Don't try to let a dark path get into your head and scramble it all up. As soon as you already did it, it would be too late for you to notice it. Not worth it. Don't let people that lies about you and harasses you get into your head. Whatever mistake, whatever I caused to people that I did nothing wrong, I am sorry for everything. You never admitted that you were in the wrong. You! If you do not want to admit that you are wrong, Xeno, let me tell you why! A petulant teenage muppet who doesn't want to be an adult. This is who I was back then, and it is now time for me to change and become the person I want to be. You did not become a different person, Xeno. You still never stuck to your own guts. You copied my phrases from my documentary video, and where else? Oh wait, I know, the YouTube cop-out video that I made back then. I'll show a video of it. Roll the clips.
Today, there's some rather cringe crap going on with YouTube. ever since I made the Alistair voiceover video, the bottom had fell out entirely. However, that's just me speaking the language of sarcasm, because there is nothing I can do, nothing I can say, to basically be in the clear from YouTube. YouTube sorts by 3 things. Like, for example, this video is made for kids. This video is made for teenagers, 13 and up. This video is made for adults, 18 or older. And yet, I'm going to make this clear, my channel, this channel specifically, is not made for children. There was also channels that I collaborated with being infected with COPPA, like Roxas the Boy, Hyper Channel, Henry VA, Cuppy the Cup, and so forth. We all share the same common thing, is that we never made content for children.
I could say that YouTube has been doing rather currently well. Yay. But that's just me speaking the language of sarcasm, because YouTube has now become nothing than a blazing hot hellhole. So let me go back down to memory lane before 2020 appeared. Some of you may have heard, or not, that this came into effect on January the 1st in 2020. YouTube had this very cringy funny little algorithm that say, "Oh look, this is for kids, this is for teenagers, and this is for adults." You can tell that he copied my phrases for his own content, and I could say that Xeno did rather appallingly well. You could say that Xeno has reached his peak but nowhere near his best. Moving on to the next page. By this point, you get the idea of how Xeno is playing the same tactic by deleting his channel and starting over again with the same egotistical attitude and just slandering people in all the wrong ways. He's done that 2 times in a row. One in June and then one on October the 26th last year in 2024. Should also let you know that some of Xeno's members have left his server after reviewing my documentary video. What amazes me the most is that after all that he has done over the past several months, he's resistant to quality control and to constructive criticism. He surprises me that he's become a total disgrace to the Sonic community. People had to confront him for everything he did in another topic, which I will not mention because I wasn't there during that time, while I had other projects that I needed to produce. What also amazes me the most is that I have a track record of what Xeno has been up to since he's been repeating himself non-stop. People on his end are gonna realize he's wasting his time, and seeing that Xeno is not looking after himself for his own mental health. A good friend of mine had tried multiple times to convince him to stop what he was doing, stop getting involved in drama or other people's drama, but he never listens. He never, ever listens to what anyone has to say. And I'm thinking to myself, am I in Amy's Baking Company? Take it for instance, you know, Gordon Ramsay in Amy's Baking Company. Gordon Ramsay questioned Amy's ability in managing a restaurant, as well as quality food. I use that gesture for a good reason, because Amy's food, well, not up to par. It's just store-bought. And their food was just, well, it just went spiraling down. So, down to the bottom of the dirt. Here's a spoiler. That restaurant, Amy's Baking Company, had been shut down. So, I guess you could call that a win-win, but then again, I hope she's doing okay, even though that she was a bit of a jerk towards Gordon Ramsay. And he did want to make the restaurant a success. He really did, but he had to let them go, and he had to leave. And there was nothing he could have done to change them. It was their restaurant, their way. Nothing could convince them. The reason I am updating this document is because more people have witnessed his actions on the internet and have watched my documentary video, which is receiving great reviews since I had shown more than enough proof or evidence to unravel who Xeno really is. In other words, a bad example of Pinocchio. He tells Porky Pies that he grows his nose 12 inches longer, maybe more than 12 inches.
I'm a real boy!
So Xeno, if you're watching this, and I know that you are, if you're gonna continue to spread more porcupines, misinformation, and keep slandering people, such as myself, go ahead and keep cheating yourself and chase your tail like an angry little puppy. But in the end, you'll just end up proving me right. As for the 7 dislikes on the video, I'm not bothered about it. My guess is that some Xenos schmucks decided to spread hate and rub salt to the wound just to provoke me, but that's not gonna make any difference. One person, however, did own up to his huge mistake and allowing that to happen on his channel. He stated a sincere apology on his community post and said that he did not regret cutting ties with Xeno. That was the most mature thing that he has ever done since I had been brutally honest with him. Everyone was right about Xeno the way he behaved in front of the public. They were really sick and tired of him for not bringing an end to it. Even though I am gonna mention the user's name, at least you did something right for once. So I'm proud of you for owning up to it and for taking responsibility for allowing that to happen on your live stream. Again, I accept your apology and I understand that you regretted siding with Xeno and that you apologized for your ignorance, so it's all good. You don't need to worry about that. Again, I am hydrating because I'm sweating and I'm feeling a little bit hotter. After Xeno had read and watched the full documentary video, another content creator had commented on his community post stating that I brought an end to it since Xeno had been making complaints over what had already been addressed in public due to his behavior. Here's what Yink Music had to say in his response to Xeno, which was posted on the 21st of September. This was a day after that I posted my documentary video. You're external, I'm going to be really honest with you. UltraSonicHero kinda ended it already. I'm not trying to be rude in any shape or form, but you're not the main character. Like, the damage has already been done and the situation has already been dealt with by a 2.5 hour long video. Or a 2 hour video made on you. It made sense in a way, but you can understand what I'm saying. If you really want to make things right and take accountability for your actions, you need to stop talking about the situation and probably leave from the Sonic community entirely. I'm saying this in a positive light manner. I just think it's for the best. Stop trying to end things that has already been settled. At this point, I don't think you're ready for the internet. Of course, people are going to say some slurs and racial crap towards you. The internet is the internet and there's nothing you can really do about it. My suggestion for you is that you go to therapy and get the help you need. Talk to someone, like your parents, teachers, police officers, etc. Because the way that you were acting from June to now is not healthy. You act like a child on the internet because people are just going to clown you even more. Exactly. Yink Music was being kind enough to reply this and respond it to External in a very constructive way. He never meant any harm to you, but instead, as the months went by, you kept doing the same thing. You never listened to any of that. Do you not understand what I'm trying to say to you? Read my lips. They wanted you to stop and get help. They only wanted what's best for you, but instead you just denied it and just reflected everything back at them and blame everybody else but yourself. I'm telling you straight to your face, you are being unfair. Unfair to others that it's not enough to satisfy them in the slightest. And if this is how you're gonna represent yourself in front of everybody, especially the public, or in front of the Sonic community, then no one's gonna help you. I am sorry, but there is nothing more that I can do to convince you to be better. Also, quick question, External. Do you usually act like this in real life? If you do, then that's a real problem. Like I said, I'm not trying to be rude, but to reason with you in a polite manner and most importantly, to talk civil. If you have time, please reply to my question because I'm actually curious about what's going on in your personal life. That's all I wanted to say. Have a blessed day, External. Remember, God loves you and forgives you for your sins. Exactly. That was well said by Yink Music. Yink's Music, sorry. For some reason I said Yink's Music, but in the documentary it does say Yink Music. But yeah, I know who he is. He's a good person. Yink Music did originally make a video about External for what he did. He did clarify as much as he could, so I applaud you for that. Yink Music did try his hardest to explain to him that it wasn't worth getting back at those who reported on his behalf, and it wasn't going to solve everybody's problems. He also stated that he needs to stop what he was doing, as it is affecting his mental health. After everything Xeno had done, there is no point in trying to convince him to redeem himself, because not only he was resistant to criticism, but he has an obsession with drama in which he'll do everything in his commentary to have the last say or speech. This is how Xeno overreacts and tends to make either a stream or a video to vent and rant about his own personal problems with other people. He even did a Twitch stream on that about Amaya Glaze, then there was Vampiric Ruins, and then there was another person, which I think is a real name, which I won't mention about that. So, and here's the funny thing. Xeno claimed that I did dox his real name, which I did not. Who would name a person Xeno as their real name in real life? Who would name that? I know for sure that nobody would name someone Xeno for their child. I know that Xeno is not your real name. Havoc Network knows it, the Sonic community knows it, the moderation team knows it, and so do I. I'm gonna leave you with some advice. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight if you're gonna start to debate on someone who put you in your place, on your behalf. Because you're not UltraSonicHero, you're not Penguin Zero, you're not Havoc Network, and you sure as hell ain't The Undertaker. But if you press my buttons to harass my friends or myself again, you a dead boy.
Care about me.
In the next few pages, there's a few updates about Xeno the Hedgehog on everything he did, especially when he made his own channel, External Overdrive, when he made some drama content on a few of the members that I know in particular, because they contacted me of everything that he did to them, and just kept slandering them. You get the idea. He did the same thing. 23rd of September 2024. 3 days later, Xeno the Hedgehog created another account where it's related to drama. Yes, you heard right. He called it External Overdrive, where his content would not only spread misinformation but also to get back at those who exposed him and reported on his own behalf. And seeing him coming back to make up another scene is just unreal. He only took a 3-day break and yet came back to falsify and defend himself for everything he has done previously. Good news, Xeno's drama account and content has been deleted. He made a few videos to go after another person who will not be mentioned in this document because she had banned him for harassing and slandering since she had watched my documentary video of Xeno. She even mentioned that Xeno had got someone spying for him on her server. Luckily, his content had been reported on YouTube and Xeno had deleted his old account just to hide the fact that he was caught in the act. He didn't gain that many subscribers, but he was the same old Xeno. And the reason I still call him Xeno is because he's still the same Xeno as before. So I'm not gonna call you External. You know why? You know why. I wrote this on the 25th of November 2024, created a new account after being exposed for causing so much trouble and getting himself involved in other people's drama, and thinks he's the main character on the internet. Main character syndrome. The account was made back on October the 26th. This time he's not much active on his channel, and no uploads either. Well, he didn't have many uploads on the 25th of November. He wasn't active on his channel back then, but then he started making some more content that was related to some discussion topics, especially one of the videos that I already made, which was YouTube Copper, which he copied my phrases, and he doesn't do a good job describing as much information about, you know, YouTube's guidelines and how YouTube's been handling Copper. It's just, he doesn't fully study enough. He did say some of his uploads back then that are unlisted on the channel. Seeing that there's no uploads on his channel, however, he did recreate his own Discord server with the same title, Omniverse Productions. Sad to say that some things never change, for example, Xeno, or some of his so-called schmucky friends, and yet they're still blatantly in denial, and oblivious to the heart of the problem, and the problem, of course, is that schmuck who's watching the video. More people this time, but he has not changed in the slightest since he has already been dealt with numerous of times. Still immature, still oblivious to himself while he's still falsifying his story reviews. Xeno has also created a Blue Sky account, so I blocked him in case he decides to harass or provoke me. And I was right, he did. But he didn't post anything related about me on Blue Sky. Well, at least not yet or not now. If he's gonna do it, that's on his shoulders. I'm concerned for the poor bastards who are watching the video and for the people that he dissed on. So far, he hasn't posted anything related to me or violated the terms of services on that platform. He has blocked me, but that's okay because the community and I know that Xeno has failed to adapt. He's not much of a threat to me since I've already put him in his place, and I did. I did that on my documentary video, and this is a final update onto this documentary. Also, the clarification that is somewhere in my document, I'm gonna clarify something which is related to a Sonic tuber, which of course I am gonna be mentioning, because even though I did not know this person did something that was unthinkable, but she never addressed it to me in person, so I'll get to that in just a moment. Since Xeno has been silent and had both of his channels deleted several weeks ago, I can only guess that he's still getting involved time and time again. Drama after drama. Or perhaps he's taking revenge on those who reported on his behalf, knowing Xeno had been violating multiple Sonic creators over the following months. If you encounter him on Blue Sky or on any other social media, block the user, do not engage with him as he will play the same blame game like he did with us before and even hide his true colors like a coward. Then on the 28th of December, I left him with a final message, even though it was already edited in the DMs. So here's what I had to say. Merry Christmas, Xeno the Hedgehog. Or Xeno External. Been a few months since I've reported on your behalf. I came back to check by, and as it turns out that you're still getting yourself involved in other people's drama, the usual. You failed to redeem yourself, and you've been a huge letdown to almost every Sonic creator online. I'm gonna be really honest with you, Xeno. It's all over. You had your chance to own up to everything you did, and you blew your chances away for redemption. Now I know I made the right decision to cut ties with you for good. Here's the thing. Whenever people try to give you valid criticism, and they mean that in a very more dignified manner, you reject that help and insist on acting like the same victim and revert back to being childish again. Is this how you're gonna display yourself, being by deleting your channel, making a new one and repeating the same act or habit like you did before? Because it's not good enough to justify for what you did. Until you've learned to stop misbehaving and pretending to be somebody you're not, such as pretending to be UltraSonicHero and impersonating me, that documentary will not be removed. You need to grow up and get over it. All you've become is a petulant con artist who has anger issues. Whether you choose to take it on the chin or not, that's up to you. Have yourself a happy new year. Just a reminder, this is not an attack. This is just a reminder of what he had done over the last... since he hadn't redeemed himself for all the drama and troubles that he has caused for so long. Will he ever change? I honestly do not know. Only then fate will determine what awaits Xeno in an uncertain future. And yeah, I was right about that. Even though they did regret the things that he did, he still holds a grudge against me because of what I said to him by putting him in his place and addressing all the things he had done in the past and even in the present. And by doing so, he never listened. He did not take it professionally. He took it personal. He took that way too personal towards others such as myself. Because I take my role seriously, in fact, a whole lot more seriously than he does. Because I know for a fact that he's not capable of communication and engaging in an audience on the internet. He's not that serious. He doesn't take it seriously enough. I've taken a role as a content creator, as a beacon, a way to introduce new content creators and Sonic tubers, to help them get inspired and to be motivated to get to where they are, to strive for succession, whether they're a sprite animator, an artist, musician, voice actor, choreographer, game developer, etc. Xeno, on the other hand, he took that role as a poison, a way to hurt, harm, harass, and to use their vulnerability to their advantage to make them feel worse. That is what you did. Let me bring you some brutality. You are not above everyone. You're not above the law, and you don't know what DMCA is. Cause you think you know, but you don't. You think you know me, but you don't. Cause I know exactly what to say in terms of communication and in terms of being a professional. Cause instead you just go moan, complain, bitch, complain, vent, rant, like you always do. Instead you're like, what do I get?
What do I get? What do I get?
You get nothing but calm. What you get is what you have earned, and what you have earned is rejection. You get what you deserved, and what you have deserved is instant karma. You get what you have accomplished, and what you have accomplished is nothing. Nothing whatso bastarding ever. Cause nobody wants to listen to a whiny, petulant little bitch. Hey, what's up everyone, UltraSonicHero. This is day 2 of the finalization on the final update of Xeno the Hedgehog. And as you can tell, I am recording this outside in a different environment. Also, I want to note that I'm recording a different camera for this, even though the quality's not the best. And I'm also recording the audio with my iPhone. And again, audio's not going to be the best, but I'll just edit it during the process with a compressor and an EQ so you can hear me loud and clear. But yeah, I am currently outside just to enjoy the peace. And I also want to note that it's a sunny weather. So there you go. Getting straight on topic, I'm going to be discussing about the double count which Xeno used as his Discord bot for his Discord server. Now, I did some research and there was a lot of reviews to read. So after reading the reviews, well, let's just say they had mixed reviews, and by that I mean mediocre reviews. So I will go ahead and read the screenshots that are provided on my iPhone, and I'll read them as clear as I can. I'm also going to show you a screenshot of the reviews, especially the star rating of the double counter, as it received a 2.84 stars out of 5. So this would explain that not many people would recommend double counter. Right, I'll read the reviews. Here they are. Laggy and doesn't work well. Went to the Discord to get more information on the bot. Got bashed immediately by some 14-year-old kid telling me how to live my life. Bot may work well, but staff on the Discord are more interested in nitro boosts than moderating their own server. Brought it to his staff's attention and they claim they don't control their members. Yikes. During the recording of this video, I accidentally missed out a review, so I will go ahead and read it. No serious advertising on their website. Most advertisements are scams or other unscrupulous advertising. And the next one says, worst support team ever. Services is being abused by one of their customers that are scamming people and then banning them. Wouldn't allow my roommate to join my server due to their stupid system. Do not get this. Their support guy is playing Roblox right now, if that sums it up. Playing Roblox. The bot is glaring red flag for every pro. There's at least 2 cons each. While it seems official at blocking IPs by the comments, it seems the developers have no concept of siblings. In other words, if you have a brother, you do not matter, and can get banned just because you share an IP, not because you're toxic or in a violation of rules. This bot just breaks a lot of moral limits by endangering innocent users needlessly. The intent is genuine, but the philosophy is flawed. With double counter user discrimination is based solely on IP address. That means for bad actors, a simple VPN or proxy can easily bypass the restriction, but for what? But for honest people who try to use this at homework or other places and shared Wi-Fi, the bot will flag them due to the nature of this type of service. Database edits cannot be made, so all blocks are permanent. Be careful using this in your server unless you fully understand how this could inconvenience your members. I swear this is owned by a bunch of feds. Let me care about my privacy and peace. Any server using this bot should be boycotted. Just terrible. Pure trash, don't even work. And then the next one says, I was able to verify fine, but then my BF, who lives with me, attempted to and was marked as an alt. Turns out it only allows 1 account per household. One of the stupidest damn things I ever heard. Guess anyone's siblings, roommates also use Discord. It's just soul. The creators of the bot were absolutely unhelpful. Use any other bots, please. The bot is trash. I recommend using your own verification method or maybe TicketsBot. TicketsBot. Also, sorry for the noise in the background. Rep tried to verify and it says, alt account detected in this server. Contacted mods on DC community server. Staff member handed me a website. Website says type alt, got blacklisted. Great services and staff still don't know what account I have in that server. Okay. I mean, There's some pros and cons about it, but mostly the cons, which is very much on the downside. When you try to enter any server that uses this, you need to go to a page. It then connects your IP to your account without giving any notice about this. And then it doesn't check anything else when someone from the same IP enters. The website keeps saying I already have an account in this server even though I don't. You all should delete this ass bot. Bot creators never considered more than one person might share a location. Yeah. And as Havoc did stated on his livestream, it is a breach of privacy, so never use double counter. This is the worst bot I've ever seen. My very old account got deleted. I tried to have the access to a few servers with DC, but I ended up getting banned. I joined the support server and immediately got banned there too, just for asking for help. And even though when I saw an FAQ, my problem wasn't listed there, and no solutions were provided because of that, I had no other way or other choice but to delete Discord entirely. I just kept praying one day this bot gets entirely deleted. Not recommended to use, and the 2.85 rate explains why. The bot is actually horrible. The support server has a lot of nerve to be condescending as they are when they make trash like this. I never even talked in there, but their onboarding process is basically sticking a gun to your head and threatening you to not ask some questions about the bot. As far as the bot's actual performance goes, people would randomly get IP banned. Server growth was non-existent, and you'd better hope you don't have siblings, parents, roommates, neighbors, or anyone living within a mile range from you because it'll ban all of you. And it wasn't even successful at actually banning bad people because they could just come back on a VPN or proxy. English until now, my account Xterrage was always recognized globally, but now I can suddenly only verify my second account on Discord. What kind of miserable system is this? You just randomly get muted even though you're not doing anything wrong. Instead of getting support, nothing happens. Absolutely disappointing. The support on the Discord is absolutely unacceptable. The supporters are shamefully exploiting their rights, have muted me several times for no reason, and are randomly banning people, including... I think that's the user. Yeah, I think it's a user. It seems like people are being punished instead of getting help. Such behavior is simply unacceptable. Trash. I hate this bot. Literally banned me and my brother just because we were in the same server that had this bot. And even if you join other server that your brother is not even in, it bans you. The devs of this bot is dumb. It's like they've never heard of siblings before. Don't even know how to use this bot they built. Okay, back again. I just needed to make sure that I was recording at an appropriate angle. And also because I needed a bit more silence around me, and because I needed to check on my battery because it's running low, so I'm just going to make sure I catch up as much as I can. In this message it said, privacy invasive, our data collection closed source verification page has ads that can sometimes redirect you to Temu. Temu? That's new. DC Lens falsely judges you based off your user activity, which can bias server moderators into thinking you're a bad person, etc. The cons keep going on and on. Horrible bot. I was banned from a server I have never been in before because of an alt account. And the funny thing is, I only have one Discord account. If you are a server owner, then I recommend you go for something else, as the only thing that does is keep potential members away from your server. Hate this damned thing. If you ever have an alt account, a family member that uses Discord, or an unfortunate IP address, consider yourself screwed. You're never getting into any Discord server with this bot ever again. It's permanent too. Not even the owners can change it. Why? Because the owners... He spelled owners wrong, but it's okay. Because the owners' brains are forged of pure stone. I hate this thing. Get the hell away from me. Get the hell away from me. Sorry, I should have corrected that. Right, this one's not English, but I can translate that, no problem. Let's see. Absolutely horrible. This bot doesn't give you security, it takes it away from you and makes inconvenience to possible new members. Having the same IP or having a VPN doesn't make a person an alt. This bot is against people who have families that use Discord and those that want security. Not recommended if you want to protect your own server. The next one says, This bot can't tell between a member and another bot identity and is giving false results. After it kicked dozens of people, staff isn't very knowledgeable. Just kick, it's garbage, and use or not. Onto or not? Oh well. L. Yeah. Big L. I was banned from a server I have been in before because of an alt account, and the funny thing is, I have one Discord account. Only one. If you are a server owner, then I recommend you go for something else, as the only thing this does is keep potential members away from your server. It banned 11 people who were in my Discord server who had no alts at all. Fix bug when? Yeah, when? Double counter. When? I like to know. Unreliable bot. It is kicking random people. Very bad bot. Fake results. I'm using my brother's phone to log in Discord. Every time I'm joining other Discord channel, it says I'm already joined the server, even I'm not. Help, guys. How can I fix this? You can do nothing against this if you have a dynamic IP from your provider. The sentiment behind this bot is good cause it helps keep alts away, but there's just too many opportunities for this bot to ban kick people unnecessarily. I would not trust this bot in my server. I also had a negative experience with their support server. One of their members of staff got pissy with me because I was asking questions to better understand the bot and how it works. Yeah, it's important to ask questions. The bot falsely classified my IP as a VPN to get it unblacklisted. It directed me to the support server, which also had verification. I could hardly join through onboarding after I opened a ticket in the proper manner. It was closed 2 hours later for inactivity because of no staff member replied to the ticket or handled it. My IP is probably still blacklisted. Do not use this bot or you'll just inconvenience your members. I requested to delete my other Discord account registered on this double counter bot because I no longer access on it and was disabled. Maybe you will have a proper unchecking first, and the Discord account to be deleted must not access and not to be removed on the Discord group link using double counter bots. Then why it needs to ban IP server if the account was already deleted? How can I use my new Discord account to access Discord groups using double counter bot? Can't join Gorilla Tag server because my brother is in it. Spams you with ads when you verify, including malware and not suitable for work, greedy and unethical bot. Trash bot. They never heard of shared IPs by ISPs. Banning innocent people. Can't join server because a friend on the same network joined before me. Bot support won't help me and just say it how it is. In Germany we say... right there. Here's the translation. I purchased a pro version for the ad-free feature, which completely did not work. Ads and aggressive ad pop-ups will show on the verification page. I went to the support staff where one member said that they were working on it, and they had no ETA on when it would be fixed later. Later, another support member chatted with me and basically said that there is no ad-free version, and this feature promised was completely fake. I had requested a refund to a Discord support staff with all my screenshots, so I hope I hear from them soon. He didn't receive a feedback from him, I believe, so I can't say I blame you. Blame the double counter. I had to uninstall this bot. It gave me so much problems banning the wrong people. I recommend to not use this at all. Very unreliable results. It's not kicking the actual alt bot VPN users. This bot is bugged. I tested it and it can kick randomly a person from the Discord even though they are from different IPs. This bot is not 100% accurate. It seems quite buggy. Trash got banned for alt. When I don't have any alt, have the same internet connection doesn't mean it's an alt account. Getting rid of this bot due to the poor customer service from the support server, not supporting somebody who can't answer a simple question as to why their garbage dashboard can't probably properly display server analytics. Perfect way to deter somebody from ever doing business with them again. Super bad, he banned me because my brother joined the same server, he say anti-alt. The most bot I've ever seen. Banned me and now demand to just through the hoops to unban. Bad bot doesn't respect privacy at all, uses shady marketing strategies, lying to their customers. Can't judge a book by its cover. Possibly one of the worst bots I've ever seen. Please use Alt Defender, then this not to mention the methods they use to prevent users. If your account was locked to an alt, contact your server support because apparently they don't know how to work a database either, and as a bot dev, you can change some in a database. just an IP grabber and data miner disguised as a bot. Apparently, proximity online isn't allowed because they don't like VPNs, so have fun having your IP stolen, doxed. Wow. And the last screenshot for the day, trash bot. Can't get verified if old account get deleted, trash. Got issues with the bot, tried many weeks in between and still get issues with verifying. I have tried every single one of the provided solutions and still haven't been able to get through. Horrible, so dumb, the verification website ain't even working. Yep, so that's just about it. The double counter bot is just absolute garbage, and Xeno used it for his Discord server. Christ almighty. And to all these people that were pretty much blackmailed by this user, and of course using the double counter, I feel so sorry for you. I feel bad for them. So now that I've said more than enough about the double counter bot, I think it's time that we head back to the studio, so let's go. Back again! With the transition aside, let's move on to the next act. Also, for those of you that noticed in the document tabs, I also added a color description on the people who have encountered or that were involved and are associated with this user. So I'll go ahead and read this out for you. In this long documentary, there will be some color descriptions of people or groups who are civil, not aware of VIPs, witnesses, and rude users, just to keep this document as accurate and readable as possible. Keep in mind, this document has been updated to provide a full in-depth story of what Xeno had done from the past of May 2024 to February 2025, in case if I need to address or clarify as much as possible to avoid the confusion of the majority of people. I'm willing to communicate from the heart to explain in as much detail as I can. I added this to the document to make sure there was more detail to the story and to the people that were witnesses who encountered Xeno, and the other people that were involved with Xeno who are associated with him. For this segment, I'm going to be talking about Xeno and Tom Dog's backlash, and there's a few allegations that I will need to talk about at some point, so let's go ahead and start off with Tom the Dog. The update on Xeno the Hedgehog on the 8th of January 2025. Since he had been completely oblivious yet again after witnessing my documentary on both the video and the Google document, and keeps claiming that I'm the only one who's bringing drama, which is hilarious coming from a 17-year-old teen, because he has no passion, he brought this upon himself and has become a huge joke, considering the fact that his grammar still needs work. Originally, I did make a document on Tom the Dog back then, because Tom the Dog was known to be very personal, and he takes his confrontations a bit too far. However, he did apologize as the months went by, and he did admit that he was not a professional or a really good clout chaser. I mean, he tries his best, but he doesn't try enough. Now, even though Tom the Dog had some differences with the other people, especially the people claiming that Tom the Dog was an asshole, and they were right about Tom the Dog. And for those that don't know, Havoc Network did a live stream of Tom the Dog back then. And Tom the Dog, well, there were some parts that he did admit that he was wrong, though at times that he's not very accountable. Tom the Dog is one of those people that goes after people who are, you know, P-words, groomers, or predator hunters. I'm not going to say the P-word, by the way, because that's too inappropriate to my standards, because I want to keep this documentary as professional as I can, even though I do tend to swear sometimes, but I am going to bring some brutality and honesty to this video. Again, he makes confrontations a bit too personal when he would call out people who are, you know, P-words, predator hunters, groomers, and even confronted, you know, the former friend of mine, even though that I no longer support her because of the allegations that were true. Now, I will get to that in a moment. So, Tom the Dog said some things to, you know, Fleetway Supersonic, Ab City, also known as Uni or Uni. Formerly she was Uni, but then she changed it to Grey instead. Tom the Dog, yeah, even though he took it a bit too personal, I would have resolved it in a much more calm and a professional manner, unlike Tom, what he did. I was a bit too far and overboard. And Tom the Dog made a video about my document on him and wanted to debunk it. Now, there was a few points that he did made out was clear, as well as mine's. Even though the story did sound a bit confusing in terms of, you know, the allegations, you know, when Tom the Dog wanted to talk smack to Uni, when she made, like, community posts related to Tom the Dog, when Tom the Dog kept going after her, well, he kinda did stalk her, but then he took his commentary and his communication a bit too far, and he was being straight up rude. I can understand where Tom the dog is coming from, and though he did make some good points, and I had a proper look at the document, and came to a decision that I knew that I just had to delete the document because it wasn't accurate enough and it wasn't good, because I noticed I made a lot of errors. Because, again, the story gets confusing with Tom the dog and Uni, you know, Fleetway Supersonic VA. Now, when Red contacted me about Xeno, that was putting the blame on me because I was defending, you know, Uni, who was known to be a... yeah. Now, I never knew that Uni had groomed a minor, because somewhere in late December, I then noticed that there was a playlist of videos that were related to her, and when people claimed that Uni was a... yeah, that word, and that she groomed a minor, so I took the time and effort to watch the videos clearly as much as I can from their perspectives. Even though that Maya Glaze, you know, is known to be like a clout chaser, but she gets involved in drama a bit too much in my opinion. There were some points that Maya did make that were true, but she kept interrupting people's conversations, for example, when she was interrupting Havoc Network, or Vampiric Ruins, or, you know, Uni. Because even though I regret siding with Uni back then, I had to make such a crucial and difficult decision, and knowing that it was going to affect a lot of people in that negative impact. So, when Uni did not address to me that she groomed a minor, I mean, you know, just when I went our separate ways and just stopped talking to her, I had to make a very crucial decision to cut ties with her and stop the whole drama thing altogether, because for that reason, it would have created a lot more problems if I continued to support her. And I felt bad for the other people, you know, especially some of the people that I knew who were affected with this drama and who were affected by some people, for example, like Xeno or Tom the dog, and even Mansion Master. Mansion Master did make a video about her, by the way, but he took it too far. He was saying some things that was just out of character, and he wasn't, well, there were some points that he did make that were good. But again, Mansion Master took his commentary too far, the same way that Tom the Dog did, not saying that Mansion Master is Tom the Dog, but Mansion Master is just overboard and even doxed a few people back then. Mansion Master was called out by the majority of people because not only that, he was being called out for saying things that was just rather inappropriate, so rude and just out of line. He got sick and tired of it because knowing that Mansion Master kept claiming that he was highly intelligent, which he isn't. But the bottom line is, Mansion Master just went too far. He took the big, mighty long fall 1OK Rock song reference, by the way, and that's when he made a video that is titled Goodbye, and that was when he reached his breaking point and decided to call it quits. Mansion Master did hide some of his content that were unlisted, or maybe some of them that were deleted, I do not know. However, I can't say that Mansion Master took the big, gigantic L, and again, the mighty long fall. I'm just gonna say this from my perspective. In my honest opinion, predator hunting is a joke and it is a waste of time. And I know that some of the people are going to disagree with me in the comment section below because of the drama that some people have been associated from the past few weeks to months, or maybe even more than that, maybe years. But understand where I'm going with this, because people, you know, who tend to bring drama to another group or to another person as if they're playing past the parcel, it creates dramatic or maybe even problematic issues toward the community, and it builds so much hate. I mean, I totally get that, but at the same time, it just makes people feel negative, makes them feel vulnerable about themselves. I mean, it's understandable, it's common, but again, predator hunting is just a waste of time in my honest opinion, and it's something that I would not want to do for my channel, because it could create a lot of backlash and a lot of negativity. Just like Xeno did back then when he made some drama content on his other channel, External Overdrive, and then his channel just got debunked. Or in other words, you could say, Mighty Long Fall, 1OK Rock reference. Also, a friend of mine shared me a few screenshots of his own that are provided on this document. So here's what External had to say. Or Xeno. Well, recently, as the 3rd of December, he has targeted and harassed someone. And I do not know about you, but I thought I asked because I wasn't aware of the issues with him until I saw UltraSonicHero's document on him. That's why I asked. The recent encounter with him was not the best, since he was dragging drama to a community that has rules of no drama. First UltraSonicHero. You've spelled first wrong. First UltraSonicHero, now Tom. Potentially. Might not be now since you came in, I dealt with a lot lately. Betrayal, been told lies, manipulated, and now I found where my place should be. My real friends. Screenshots were captured by a friend of mine on January. Xeno's messages was posted on the 27th of November and the other one on the 5th of December last year. I'm assuming he's talking about Tom the dog. I've heard about him before. Tom, well, he's not as clever or as untouchable as he claims to be. The majority of people disliked him for many reasons due to his lack of understanding, criticism, but also the fact that he's ultimately a disgrace to commentary. Xeno thinks everyone around him betrayed him. That's just a sad statement from a sulky teenager who blames everybody else but himself. This is why people don't recommend watching Xeno or Tom the Dog's content, because they're obviously talking smack as well as slandering people. That means the stuff he did to me. Stuff of a past, etc. And he spelled etc. incorrect. This is exactly what Xeno does. He throws everyone under the bus and does not own up to his childish behavior. Now, in his community post, he did apologize, but I'm not convinced that he's going to change. It's like trying to build yourself back up, as a statue with the mud cement, and with a rather strange ingredient that doesn't solidify completely. He's trying to build himself back up to where he was before, but he's not trying hard enough. Externally disappointing. Yeah, sorry for the pun, folks. Even though I used his name. Xeno, I'm sorry, but not sorry for using your name as a pun. Deal with it, punk. Here's another one of Red's screenshots that he posted in the DMs earlier. Yeah, no. Makoto, my team did an investigation on you. Unauthorized but reasonable. Your outbreak on Luna is a form of harassment. I can't really disclose other evidence at the time. If you're hiding something, please reveal it. Like we're trying to... You spelled "were" wrong. Like we're trying to help you out here. We can't do it without any details of each side of the story. I lashed out in some stuff I shouldn't have said. Right. You have to understand Havoc knows now. Just no more outbursts. It's not painting young good picture. Whatever his team is doesn't do a good job on showing validation or being as open-minded like everybody else. I'll have you know that Havoc Network had to do a livestream on him because Xeno had kept lying to him and others were backstabbing them with false context. So far, the 17-year-old is off to a bad start to this year. Xeno had kept accusing me for sabotaging him and his fake con artist career. The truth in the matter is, the only thing that sabotaged him throughout this whole scenario was his communication and grammar, along with his misleading context, which most people found out really flimsy. And that's why Xeno will be remembered as one of the most disliked creators in the Sonic community who destroyed himself. For Fleetway Supersonic, even though I had to leave the DMs, because I realized that I was going to create a lot of problems in backlash, and it could have affected my channel and the community, as well as my friends, that were, not aware of the full scoop or the full story. So that is on me. I can take responsibility for that, for not knowing that she was completely out of line. And not just that, but what she did was just disgusting. Even though that I did leave the group DMs without telling her or a friend of her, knowing that she did make a mistake that she regretted doing, but still, I had to stop talking to her and I had to cut ties with her because not only that, but there was something quite off about this topic, Rudy Fleetway, that she's receiving a lot of hate, not just from the VR chat community, but from other content creators on that platform. There was Xeno the Hedgehog, and then there was Mansion Master, who was, trying to debunk Uni or Fleetway Supersonic, because, that the allegations that were true, and it got tiresome. That has already been dealt with in the past, but one thing that I did not want to tolerate is zero tolerance, or people that does spread so much negativity and set up a hate campaign to hate a content creator after another, even by, provoking, making fun of others, and just, mocking them. Because Xeno did mock me back then, even though I just found that rather hilarious, knowing that this kid could not handle adult situations. Because Xeno kept making documents, on a few people that I know in particular that already put him in his place for everything that he's done. Slandering, harassment, twisting the narrative into people's stories and nitpick everything out from the sky and expect everything to be his, such as, people's assets from a fan game and other logo designs, which he did steal from DeviantArt, which I already mentioned back then. So I don't need to show you this, because you already know about that. You already know about the logo that he did steal for his own fan game. Oh, talking of fan game, I was going to talk about that too, so before I move on to the next segment, I'm just going to say this, and even though that I was not fully aware what she did, and again, I did not know that Uni had been grooming a minor back then, and I wasn't even aware of that. And a lot of people were starting to get like complaints after complaints, and then receiving a lot of negative comments. And I can see why. I can understand and relate to why that she did something that was unthinkable. And that really just made me uncomfortable, because she never addressed to me in person about the grooming incident. Now, for that reason, not only that I had to cut ties with her and stop engaging with her, but you can see why that I wasn't really satisfied in the fact what she did that was wrong. Because if she had just confessed and owned it up, and even though I think she already did, I'm not sure if she did, but I think she did own up to that. But it still doesn't impress me in a bit. So for that, Uni, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but I'm cutting ties with you completely. I am no longer going to be associated with you. It's done. Had I known about this sooner, before, everything would have been resolved differently instead of receiving so much hate and negative comments. And for that, to the audience, I am sorry. And even to those that were affected by Xeno, and with another story and another allegation that was a bit slightly confusing, I did not accept some of the praise, because a man can own up to his flaws. A man can take responsibility for his mistakes. Here's one more thing that I'm going to point out before we move on. I do not, and I repeat, I do not condone people to harass, provoke, impersonate, copy people's contents, make a mockery of them, or steal creations without the proper permission. Moving on. Here's the next update. After checking back on Xeno again, he's reverted back and getting himself involved in more drama yet again. He streamed his own personal problems on his Twitch account instead of letting that slide. It's almost as if he's setting up a hate group or campaign toward other members who had called him out numerous times, who let his emotions get the better of him. I'll leave a link down below to what he said during the livestream. This was uploaded on the 4th of February. And then the title of his Twitch stream says, "Alright, seriously, this is on my nerves. TW means trigger warning. If you thought I didn't know what TW meant, Xeno, I know what it is. It's trigger warning. So do keep up, you bloody minger." Sad to see that he hasn't changed or learned anything from his past dramas and experiences. I'd say what a drama queen, but he's proven to be much worse than that. Xeno thought that I was misgendering him, but you don't even know what drama queen is, Xeno. You should be able to know what it means, you unbelievably wazik, you silly Billy, you inconsistent little muppet, you pruned little goose. Keep up! Xeno may not be committed to change, but what's become much more clear to me is that he wasn't willing to learn or listen, and he's not even sorry after everything that he's been through. Even did a livestream about me and made an appalling document, which I find abysmal considering he dropped the ball and refused to take criticism. Xeno's document on me was nowhere near accurate, and I'll explain why, because there's a lot of points that he did not make clear enough, and especially, with me being involved, with Uni, which I used to support back then, even though that I did not know that she was grooming a minor. So, you need to keep up, lad. I've stopped supporting her before you addressed it. I can easily own up to that, because I'm more sociable and mature than you to own up to any responsibility. I mean, honestly, you've got just about everything to say for just about anything, and you've only been right once. And that's the fact that you let your arrogancy get the better of you. So whether you choose to stop running your flappers or not, do yourself a favor then.
You need to shut the f up!
I could probably keep talking about this more for what feels like half a day, maybe 12 hours or 13. But I'm gonna keep this simple. A friend said to me that he got mad that his document was taken down. He has completely lost the plot and has reached his breaking point. Unfortunately, there is nothing more that I can do to convince him to stop debating everyone around him. He's gonna be 18 soon, so I can only assume that he's still holding a grudge over me reporting on his behalf for his behavior. You still hold a grudge over me, and that's okay, that's fine. I've had plenty of knives stabbed right in my back before then. Haters are my motivators, and I rose above your hate. Let me summarize this up for you, Xeno. You go where they tell you to go. I go so hard they tell me to stop. That's passion. You think that you're in the right because you claim to be right when you think that you know everything but you don't. I know what to say because I see things with my own two eyes like a hawk and know exactly how to communicate based on the clarification and the screenshots, messages, and evidence that I've seen from the people since they were witnesses of the incident. That's passion! You try to jumble up a sentence inside of your head as if you're playing Scramble, assembling the letters into a word, but doesn't know how to provide a clear, efficient sentence. I know what to say because I can do a lot of writing, because I've known communication, knowing the language of communication, and the language of sarcasm because I know exactly what to do, and know what needs to be written. That's passion. You claim and you believe that you're untouchable because you know what to say and you know how to put people in their places when you think that you can handle adult situations. These people don't believe in you because you don't believe in you. They don't believe in you because you can't even handle adult situations at a child at your own age, and you act like a 5-year-old. Just like a friend of mine said that you acted like a 5-year-old. Because not only that, they know that you're just a time waster trying to be a clout chaser when he doesn't do a good job at providing a proper story, a proper authentic story. You only rant, bitch, and complain because you want to have the final say to have your side of the story when your side of the story doesn't fully add up to the proper sentence of that story. I make a story that's appealing so I know what to write, which is almost the same thing that I already said, but different. Because I know how many people have encountered you on your behalf and knows exactly what you're full of. You're full of it, full of bull, and full of crap, because you can't even be honest with yourself from the heart. You may think that you're above everybody else, such as myself or the Sonic community, but you're not. Because guess what, Xeno? Not only am I still standing, but I'm still here, and that's passion! You may think that these people never cared about you. You may think that I didn't care about you or Havoc Network. Listen, we cared about you, Xeno, because we wanted you to stop what you were doing. We wanted you to stop getting involved in drama. We tried everything that we could to convince you to stop everything altogether, but you did not listen to one single word. We tried, Xeno, we really did. I cared about you, but now I'm looking at you as a whiny, spoiled little brat, and I'm starting to think maybe everybody such as myself have wasted time with you because you weren't worth the person talking to in our terms of communication or having a civilized conversation. And instead, we get this. One thing for sure, you can't talk. You can't even talk proper English. Funny question, Xenomorph, but which planet did you came from? Venus, Mars, or from a different solar system? Because by the looks of your communication and your grammar and your context, sounds like an alien that came from outer space.
The f*** you say to me, you little s***?
On page 43, I did update the page because Xeno added something in the description and it said hashtag better than Nexus. Well, the joke is on him because Nexus Framework did incredibly well and received a lot of great reviews in comparison to Xeno's little project Sonic Lightspeed. Now, he did make a remastered version of Sonic Lightspeed, but it was nowhere near as good as Nexus Framework. So the reviews and the feedback says it all. And now for an audio clip.
I would like to say this. I would like to say this. Even this to your friends, like Fabric Runes. Or whoever's your friend.
Also, the way that Xeno sounds when he's commentating, like,
I've already been lied about. You're such a buffoon.
Seriously, who would talk like that when it's not even in a serious tone?
Back off! I'm serious! We're not gonna deal with this 24/7! We wouldn't be here today if it weren't for you!
I beg your pardon! Oh my lord! Who talks like that in a live stream? Like, give it a rest already. All you do is just venting, bitching, and complaining just about all your problems on a Discord server, on a YouTube channel. This and that and this and that. What the hell is the matter with you when you're bitching and venting? What the f do you mean? You silly tatty. God almighty. Alright, let's continue.
Blame it on sports something, and I will remind everybody again. You raided everybody's Discord server, spammed our invite link to the Omniverse Discord server, and blamed us!
Just gonna stop the video for just a moment so we can get a better understanding of what really happened during the incident. So, Xeno claimed that raided his Discord server and blamed him for something, for some odd reason, and then Xeno made a livestream on Twitch, vented his problems over. Now, I can understand where he's coming from, but he should have just kept himself calm and collective. And from Red's perspective, he did say that there were several witnesses that did trace someone's artwork. Fortunately, she had been banned from several Discord servers for tracing other creators' artwork. My only theory is that Xeno may have doxed her during the incident before he started a Twitch stream. And on his Twitch stream, what he was meant to say was, he's not going to deal with this. Instead, he said he's not going to deal with this 24/7, as in every day. But it doesn't always happen every single day when it's related to drama. So Xeno should have corrected that during his live stream. Back to the video.
For everything!
God almighty! This kid has major issues! Also, I just want to point out, the way that he commentates on a live stream, whether it's YouTube or Twitch, makes me think that he's fake acting and that he's in La La Land.
We're gonna burn about your crap! We had enough!
Okay, there's no need for you to hit stuff around you. Please look after yourself. Don't hit anything around you. Don't even think about breaking your stuff, because if you do, it is gonna cost you pennies.
Duh! Ugh! I feel like punching something right now. Ugh. Do you want to know what I look like? Absolutely ticked off? You want to know what I look like? Ticked off? Fabric ruins, by glaze, etc. Well, here it is. Here it is. Happy now? Are you happy?
I don't know why Xeno brought Vampiric Ruins into this. She hasn't done anything wrong. She only convinced Xeno to stop what he was doing and getting himself involved in people's drama. And in Vampiric's comment, she also stated her encounter with Xeno and why Xeno's been causing a lot of confusion. And I'll have you know, Vampiric Ruins does not approve of what Xeno had said. She only wanted what was best for him, the same way Havoc said. considering the number of times that Xeno had been confronted in a voice call by the majority of people. And before Xeno did a livestream on Twitch, and way before Havoc Network did a livestream of Xeno, I informed Havoc of what he's been up to by sharing my document and my entire story of Xeno the Hedgehog, just to get the generalization of Xeno's online activity and the suspicions of getting involved in drama. From the looks of it, Xeno was not ready for the big bad world.
Have you tell you this? I'm not dealing with this 24/7!
Okay, Hotshot, pipe down. It's not always about what you want. It's not always about them, okay? So just simmer down, find inner peace. Find yourself in a very much more relaxing place, like maybe a forest, a waterfall. You must find inner peace, my son.
Ugh! Ugh. Just leave us alone! And if you're telling us we have no consent to vent about anything, oh, you're wrong, buddy! We have every right to cry. We have every right to be upset. We have every right to vent. We have every right. And if you're telling me there's no such thing as the First Amendment, aka the freedom of speech, just get off the internet and go on a long hiatus. Absolutely. Leave all of us alone. Ugh. And oh, if I was near right now, I would tear her to shreds.
Alright, you need to seriously calm down, kid, okay? For you to say if you was here near this person right now and tear her to shreds, that's pretty much violent. There's no need for you to be that violent towards someone, even though she's a bit of a donut. You need to pipe down. So stop being a jackwagon and get over yourself, because all that you're doing is letting the grudge get the better of you. Proceeding.
Regarding everything she did, stealing art, tracing art, blaming us for nothing that we never did at all. Worst of all, blackmail, manipulation, racism. Everything in the book. Ugh. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Ugh.
I mean, based on what you've been commentating on your livestream, you decided to take a massive rage and let your emotions get the better of you. Anger does not solve your problems. Neither does your hate, neither does getting your revenge. Makes no difference. There are no winners with revenge. Red gave me another statement earlier on in the DMs. Now, even though that his DM message was a bit repetitive, so what I did was I actually helped to build up the sentence a bit more so it made proper sense, so I'll go ahead and let all of you read this in your own time. Feel free to pause the video. Now, Red did state that someone had a mental disorder, as mentioned in the document, and Xeno was associated with Keith Mario, and then that Henry was involved in drama as well, even though that they're minors. Still, these people are not the trustworthy type, and pretty much childish. Now, he also supports Henry VA, who is a minor, and allowed her to get involved in adult situations. I remember that Skinny Bones Aaron was present and witnessed the true colors of Xeno because I told him in the DMs that I know Xeno very well. I saw it as well, and there was another friend of mine who is Milo who commented on Ultra's long documentary about Xeno. Vampiric Ruins also commented and explained her side of her experience with Xeno, of how he tried to make a document to twist the narrative just to make him look good in front of the public. He tried that, but it wasn't enough. Because no matter what you do, Xeno, when you try to twist and manipulate the narrative, the story, for your own satisfaction, it is never enough, and you should be ashamed of yourself. You are making it extremely easy for everyone to put you in your place. The only thing that you get in return is to take a proper look at yourself in the mirror of how horrible and immature that you have become. I also want to point out, Xeno, that just because I've got Sonic collectibles in the background, such as my figurines, my other collectibles, the posters, Sonic movie posters, it does not make me a rich person. I am not rich. I am in fact a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, and I've been a huge Sonic fan for over 26 years. A lot more longer than you have. In the next page, Red also says, Sped Noodles, who is Skinny's girlfriend, also commented about what Xeno had done, as she has a twin sister who witnessed it as well. Havoc did say about Xeno in 2 months that his shield of being minor will come off, he will turn 18 in June, he can't use his alternate excuses or use his family as a shield. That goes for Keith as well. If he keeps doing this as well, he will lose his graduation and be sent to prison. Or into prison. If I'm correct, Keith did once force Lost Eclipse to date her while she only meets people in real life and not on the internet. He also forces any girls to date him. During the VC, I had a chat with him after I saw the whole video of what he had done. He was starting to yell at me and being so rude when I asked him questions during the call. He dodged it as well. I told him several times about his problems that he needs to solve them himself, because I told him I do not tolerate him acting childish during a voice call and he doesn't listen to anyone or me. It was crazy until I had to let him go because of his immature attitude towards me. So, Red, you did a good job. Even though you tried your hardest to avoid the drama, I can applaud you for that. So, good job. You tried your best to be civil towards that person and to Xeno, but it's okay. You did your hardest. You did your homework, you did your best, you're the GOAT. And I love your accent, by the way. And now for the finalization. Red did a great job providing as much context as he could and explaining to his friends and individuals of what Xeno had been doing, since he's kept a low profile, distancing from others ever since he had been banned, kicked, rejected and caught in the act. Keith Mario had been associated with Maya Glaze before and claims that she was a nice person. However, what he did not know that Maya Glaze was one of the users that was into pornography. After doing tons of research on every platform, she had been unaccountable a few times when she was confronted by the majority of people. Xeno was also confronted for twisting their stories and not taking the conversation seriously when he was told to stop getting involved in drama, almost the same similarity that Maya Glaze did. Well, not the same, but similar. In Red screenshots that were recorded on both the 19th and the 20th of May last year, Shade stated on Discord that she did not approve of Keith Mario bringing this upon her for no reason, and as a result of that, she had to politely and respectfully cut ties with him. Here's how the conversation went before Shade stopped talking to him. What you betrayed Braxton for? He didn't do shit, and whoever is telling you shit about the Shadyverse, they better back the f*** off. Because Braxton called my friend Maya bald, and he also blocked her, and Maya is a nice person. Continue what you're saying. Look, I saw Maya video, and I saw about Laura and Pink are P-words, so I believe Maya is right. So I got a serious talk with Ash. Me and Ash had gotten into a fight, and he said the F-word to me. So look, That's why me and my bloodline don't like the way when Ash and Laura and the others are talking bad to my friend Maya. So I want Ash and the others to leave my friend Maya alone. I see. Yeah, Maya is a nice person and I respect her, and she did nothing wrong. So look, Shade, that's why I don't trust P-words. The only good people I trust is Maya, Joshua, JJ Skate, Peter Tex, and everyone else. And then Shade said, I read all you said here. I get it that this whole thing is about P-words and you believe Maya. I respect that. However, we have to think about the other people in the community who hate drama with their mental health issues being on the line. That is something I can't accept because it's going to put those on the edge of suicide. Listen, though I ain't taking sides at all since I want no parts in this and never want parts in this. However, if this goes over the entire community and there are suicidal people who get affected by this, please don't ask me to rescue you, since this is your decision, not mine. I respect your decision, but don't pull me into this, for I am stressed enough. Hashtag bring peace in the Sonic community. Sincerely, Shade Bloodlust. Lastly, in red screenshots, he recorded an audio file of Maya's message. Somewhere near the middle of the playback, she said, "Disgusted with you, you deserve to go to hell." Wow. That is just a low blow. That is a low blow. Telling someone to go to hell in that kind of tone when she wasn't quite fully aware of the allegations or the story, and debating on Shade. Now, Shade understands that and she does respect it, but she didn't want to be a part of the drama. They brought it to her. Her. Sorry, Shade. To tell someone to go to hell in such an immature manner shows that she wasn't grown enough to discuss this in a respectful way. I get why Maya Glaze is trying to be a clout chaser like Xeno and going after people who are P-words, but at this point it's becoming rather childishly pointless. As for Xeno, he was not committed to change or listen to anyone for that matter, because all that Xeno does is make documents to falsify or twist people's stories, and even slandering the majority of people who he had previously harassed over the last 11 months. Well, technically it's a year now. So I have been keeping track of that. We know that Xeno is about to turn 18 this year in June. If he should continue to go down this path and repeat his old schemes like before, then there is no helping him coming out of his own limbo, as he will end up being sent to a detention center, or worse, to prison. Everybody has tried to convince him to let it go and move forward. Instead, he has decided to isolate himself since things didn't go his own way and has given up on himself. The case is now closed. Also, I'm just going to read the last page of the clarification just to make sure that we're all on the same page here. So, here's what I had to say. I would also like to point out that after taking a proper look at some of the videos that people made previously relating to the Sonic Tuber, I'm beginning to understand why she had been disliked for grooming a minor. A person who is under the age of 18, by the way, in case you did not know what minor is. Even though she regretted making those mistakes back then, she wants to move on. I wasn't aware of what she had done, and I can see how she had been a huge target, but for some people who had taken their hatred and commentaries too far and too personal, it is not acceptable or the right way to socialize or solve their problems. And even though I somehow do not approve of what they said in an impolite manner, I had to make the hardest decision for the sake of my friends and community. I had to stop talking to her and go our separate ways. I had to inform the moderation team on my end after the incident. If I had continued to support the Sonic Tuber, things would have escalated and more people would have hated this person and gotten more involved. Had I noticed that sooner, the situation could have been resolved differently. Things still got out of hand due to Xeno's confusion, as he ended up being on the naughty list yet again, and he even got involved with 3 users who had been connected to this topic. Now, Xeno had been associated with Maya Glaze and Mansion Master, so Mansion Master is known to be such a douchebag for posting drama content, and Xeno was in his server that time. Now, even though I was undercover as a different a user back then, it was last year, which I've already discussed about, Mansion Master was not a nice person, as well as Xeno as well. So, Mansion Master, he called it quits, he quitted his channel, and he just blamed everybody around him, and kept claiming that everybody was lying about him, when they were telling the truth about his Mansion Master. Well, I nearly said Xeno, by the way, even though Xeno isn't is an absolute liar who grows his nose like Pinocchio does.
I'm a real boy!
Yeah, sorry for the meme, by the way. That, to me, in my mind, Mansion Master claims that he's untouchable or intelligent when he's not. What he does is just unthinkable. He makes unthinkable decisions by doxing people, harassing them, and then just making them vulnerable. And it just breaks their mentality. You know what that's like. It's just the way Mansion Master makes his content and how he confronts people in that tone and that disrespectful manner is just blatantly uncalled for. As for Tom the Dog, now, Tom the Dog, if you're watching this, you're not as dumb as Xeno is. And your behavior may not have been as bad as Xeno the Hedgehog's. But had you stopped what you were doing, then I wouldn't have had to make a document on you. But you know what? It's okay. You made your sincere apology to the public as a video. You made some good points out there, and you admitted that you were not a professional or a proper clout chaser. And what you did was just blatantly immature, and that's fine. So for that, I commend you for that. I can accept your apology, okay? Even though I still don't trust you, I'll accept your apology on your behalf. All that I ask is that you don't spread any more hate or try to make it personal for those who've made mistakes and regretted what they did. The way I want to handle these situations and topics like these is to take responsible measures and to clarify as much as I need to as a creator while providing some constructive feedback. I may be brutally honest, as I've already made my statement loud and clear, but I do not tolerate anyone slandering, cyberbullying, impersonating, or dishonoring artists, creators in this wonderful Sonic community we love dearly. And know that I have also made mistakes from last year because of the allegations. I do want to point out that I take this role or job seriously to help improve and to develop a safe, civilized group for everybody to coexist. Nobody deserves to be treated unfairly. This is a friendly reminder to all those who I've dealt with over the last several months to ensure that everybody gets the respect and the proper adjustment when needed. One last time, I am no longer going to be tolerating anyone's drama or complaints over what has already been settled previously. With all that being said, I expect all of you to do the same and show equality. Take my advice or don't change your stripes. The choice is up to you. I made every single point loud and clear that I do not condone harassment, bullying, provoking, impersonation, or copying people's content, or even trying to mock them. I do not condone those whatsoever. I made it officially clear that I wanted everybody to get along peacefully and civilly, if that's even a word. If not, oh well, I just wanted to make sure that everyone was civil. I've owned up to my mistakes and to one part of my responsibility. I've owned up to that and I've apologized in the previous video, and one more time for this video, again, I'm sorry. Back again. Okay. I thought I would never have to come back to do this again, but as it turns out, there is more context to this documentary as I realized. So, let's just get on with it and move on to the next act. Now, some of you are going to be asking me, UltraSonicHero, where is Xeno now? Is he still up to his no-good tricks, and is he still obsessed in drama, and still getting involved in it? Well, all of you are going to be really disappointed to hear this, and as much as I dislike to say this, yes, he's still involved in drama, as he's got two other users who are sharing his content, Cristiano and Nate Blanche. So, Xeno's been involved in a few dramas before by making videos, or in other words, expose videos. And then Xeno had gotten himself into an argument with someone on Twitter, Amaro. Now, Amaro stated that someone did not do their research properly, and because of a random user that posted something on Discord. So, I agree with Amaro on this one. And since Amaro gave out a proper statement, Xeno had said something that was just not on. And not just that, but it's also because he didn't do enough research and he wasn't fully on the same page as Amaro. So, I will go ahead and read on what Xeno had said to him. So be prepared to listen to this. This is why you do not trust people that don't know how to communicate properly, and someone that doesn't even provide a proper specification. Not to sound rude or anything, I find it very hard to believe some bot is not shown in a server list, with the bot being here is kind of obscured, and is a rage bait because I did my own research. It's a whole different Discord bot and not something built into a server in hiding spots. It's not the bot that's being used, it's the API. There is an option IIRC, check out Blossom VT's recent post about it. Also, there's a video talking about it on YouTube as well. I can't tell if you're trying to agree with me or attack me. Which is it? I'm not trying to attack, I'm more of agreeing. I apologize if it sounds like an attack. You didn't want to make it sound like that you were attacking someone, but it sounded like you were attacking him. So you're such a rude, diabolical little That's what I'm saying. It's not hiding somewhere. People are just banning it with the UID and bypassing the need for the bot to be present to ban it by tagging it. They just don't know what the they're talking about and fear mongering with that info or information. Now, Amaro made some very specific points about that, but Xeno was not on the same page as he was, and then he decided to take the conversation into a different level and attack him. As if he was, trying to claim that he wasn't attacking, but he was. And to be honest as well, bro, I may be a small YouTuber, but I know common sense. You think you know common sense, but you don't. You don't know the meaning or the terminology of that common sense. I mean, listen to yourself. You're just a sulky, spoiled little kid trying so desperately to fill shoes that you never will. Because you know that you can't talk from the heart, and you can't even be honest with yourself. Research and do things proper. This is just over-the-top stupid and pathetic. Attention-seeking per se anyway. Again, what is banning a bot via UID going to do anyway? It won't stop anything in its period. Oh my word. This kid does not know what the hell he's talking about. He thinks he's done a lot of research, but he hasn't. This is why people don't properly address the full topic about, a Discord bot or people getting banned or anything that's just rather suspicious. This is why people need to be a lot more vigilant and more careful on what they're saying and how they're researching on something that's not common. I mean, seriously. You know what Xeno's like? Xeno is one of those kids who tries to act like that he's smart, intelligent, or tough, but he's not really smart or a tough guy. When he tries to, intimidate others just to make them shiver, make them feel afraid or vulnerable. Xeno is one of those kids who tries so hard to be somewhat scary towards others, but he's not that scary. He's a sulky little boy who thinks he can do anything and everything, which he can't. This is why you don't rely on people who have such a big chip on their shoulder and whose ego is so much uglier than Mansion Master. And Xeno, if you're gonna say, I wasn't involved in drama, you were. You keep saying that you're not getting involved in drama, yet your post says a different story. You kept making promises, but then you broke your promises to them, and you insisted on doing the same repetitive limbo over and over again.
Christmas of 2024 is already around the corner, and I do hope everyone is having a fantastic year. As far as I know, I want to put 2024 behind my back, never come back to it, never. Just forget about it, and just look to a better future. I appreciate the support and the support towards Sector Storm's development, and I do wish everyone a happy holidays, and yeah, let's keep a bright future for 2025.
That's why you can't control yourself, you can't contain yourself, and you can't make a proper commitment to change or redeem for the better. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. I've made quite the impression on shutting people's mouths when they claim to be intelligent or tough. But all that they're doing is acting like they're tough when they're just a bully or a jack-off. And when they run their flappers and their jaws out loud like an angry elephant, I just make them eat their words. And knowing that the fact that you're gonna be a legal adult soon, I don't think you're gonna change. And I'm pretty much convinced that you're not going to change, you don't want to change, you're not hungry for success, and you never will. Because you know that if you try to make another apology towards me, or any of my folks, or any broskies that you have dissed on or backstabbed, you know that yourself, along with your ugly ego that's more uglier than Mansion Masters, are gone. It's like I said before that your hate is nothing but love disguised by jealousy. I want to say this. Your hate is more uglier than anyone that I've ever come across in my 12.5 years on this platform. It's made me come to realize, and it's crystal clear, that you don't care for anyone or anybody that you have harassed, bullied, dissed, backstabbed, and abstained on. You've not only let me down, you've not only let them down, but you let yourself down and your entire family down. And you have made it crystal clear that you don't care at all. That you only care about your petty, selfish self. Besides, you've made quite the poor impression of making fun of someone's accent who happens to be French. You think you know how to speak French, but you don't. You just Google it up to do some research instead of getting yourself educated or inspired. Because my pal Red did not approve of what you did to him. You disrespected him. You've more importantly disrespected me. And you've dishonored me. Now I'm looking at you as the biggest idiot in the center of this circle, in this room. As for Tom the dog and Maya Glaze, I know they've had their differences with other people who they were not really happy about. I get that. But you still have a lot to learn. And if you're watching this video, I'm not here to make this personal with you. The past is in the past, you've already dealt with that. It's already been resolved, and you don't need to worry about it. Even though I do not trust you. And until you've shown that you can mature, until you've learned from your mistakes and embrace yourselves, and until you've learned that the hard way for a few years, which is going to take a long time, to me, you're nothing. I can tell that Nate, Blanche, and Cristiano are not the trustworthy types as well, even though that they are minors, and knowing that they still have a lot to learn. As we did try to convince Xeno to stop getting involved in drama. And, like Havoc said, he's pretty much convinced that he's not going to change. And I have to agree with Havoc on this, because it's really disappointing to see that he's not willing to change. But again, it's not on. It's just unacceptable, and it just shows that Xeno is not being man enough to own up to this. Because no matter how many times that he makes apologies towards other people that he dissed on, he keeps going at this with a never-ending loop, as if you're watching the same episode over and over again. And then it gets to a point where it gets boring and depressing, and you just want to put an end to it altogether. And talking of which, I've just figured something out, Xeno. You know that you couldn't finish and you couldn't do what I did, as well as the Sonic Tubers that you dissed on, and left a stain in the Sonic community. And you know deep down inside, the people that you have dissed on, they were more mature, they were the bigger man than you. And you know, and this is gonna hit you really hard in the chest, so listen. You think that you were blackmailed because of the allegations that were put on you? They never blackmailed you. You listen to yourself. You keep saying that you were blackmailed and manipulated. The only person that blackmailed and manipulated the entire Sonic community is none other than yourself. And you know, deep down in here, the people that you have hurt, harassed, bullied, provoked, and even mocked, they were always better than you! I can do what you couldn't do, Xeno. I've ended it, just like I ended you. You know it, I know it, and they know it. And don't even think about comparing to me with someone else who had already been dealt with in the past, okay? I have given my heart, my soul, my sweat, blood, and tears to these people out there a long time ago, before you came into this big bad world. And I'm gonna be frank with you, they've had enough of you. All of them. And all that you do is just make documents, make exposed content, and then share them with your friends, even though that they're not fully aware of the allegations. You share them with your friends and expect them to side with you? Hell no! I'd be siding with Penguin Zero. I'd be siding with my real friends that know about the allegations far more than you do. Like I said, kid, don't bring a knife to a gunfight if you're gonna debate on someone for no reason. You think that Havoc, Rev, Vampiric, Red, the other Sonic Tubers, Lol Dude, my friends and myself are proud and happy for what you have done by leaving a horrible impression towards us? My reaction says it all. You're getting no more chances after this. Because by the time that this video, and at the end of the day, it's the end of the day. It's the end. You get your end. Don't come crying to me or my pals or anyone that I know that you've dissed on to come and help you. And expect a wizard to wave a magic wand and expect miracles to happen just like that and kiss your phony ass for your satisfaction. And to spit out the facts, let me tell you something quite interesting. You're not as honest, as noble, or as good as you think you are. So pipe down, turn your volume to 0, and have a bit more of a humble approach. But I don't think that you're going to take the humble approach, Xeno. Because you don't want to listen. You're not prepared to listen. And more importantly, I don't think that you want to grow up. I don't think you want to. In your last and final moment, Xeno, what's the most reasonable thing or the most honorable thing you can do? You could walk away. You could call it quits right now, just like Mansion Master, who quitted his channel because he couldn't handle the truth or the criticism nor the feedback. You could do that. Or you can make one more apology video for your own sake. But if you expect me to accept your apology, Xeno, I'm not gonna accept your apology, because you know why? Because I know you're not committed to change. You don't want to change, you don't want to grow up, you do not want to strive for success, you're not hungry for success, and you never will be. That's me being blunt. Also, I've just taken the microphone off of my rig so I can be brutally honest and give Xeno my final statement. Here's how the story went with you. First you were an average kid, then you got tissy-pissy like an angry snake that slithered off into the bushes to hide the truth, cause you love to hide the truth and love making a bad impression on others just to claim that you're the good guy, which you ain't. And then, you started accusing moderator and an admin on the Neon Crew Discord server like a spoiled little child who couldn't handle the criticism or the feedback. Then you left the server, then you picked on a Sonic Tuber, then you picked on me, then you picked on other Sonic Tubers, then you got exposed, then you went to join Havoc Network, which of course you decided to backstab him and take the information without their concept, such as their screenshots and the proof. Then you got hissy-pissy at Vampiric Ruins, then you made a live stream on Twitch, then you got pissed off because I updated my document, because you did not know how to handle the truth, because you did not know how to properly communicate from the heart, and then you ended up getting yourself debunked again by more people who couldn't look up to you and who couldn't stand you being such an inconsistently spoiled brat. And as much as people saying they're getting sick and tired of you, which of course you're sick and tired of yourself for doing this thing, here's my statement to you. Get yourself sorted out, shut up, walk back in line like the rest of these schmucks that we dealt with in the past. And that way, they won't have to put up with your horrible, dyslexic, incapacitated, inappropriate behavior. So Xeno, go yourself! With everything that I've said, that concludes the final update of this documentary of Xeno the Hedgehog, and even though I was not proud for siding with Uni on this, I did do my best to clarify as I could by speaking from the heart and giving a full context on the allegations. So I hope I did the best I could. If I missed anything out, please let me know in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them in my own time. So again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video and for understanding my reasons for why I did not want to be associated with this person for grooming a minor, and for, you know, feeling rather uncomfortable in terms of, you know, allowing myself to get involved with that person. So I'm taking responsibility for that. And more importantly, I'm done with Xeno the Hedgehog. I've already put him in his place, and I'm going to be cutting ties with him altogether. Thank you so much for watching the video, and as always, I hope to see all of you in the next one. God bless you all, Godspeed, and take care.